World of YouTube, tearful sight here. I'm going to go over a case that happened in 1967. Of course, it's from the channel Unsolved Worcester. Have to put a plug out to them if you want to watch the full episode. But I guarantee you won't get the thoughts, theories, and ideas that I have on this case. Nor will you get the, full insight that will be given here of questions that need to be answered. Other than that, the video I did the other day of Cameron, the poor little 7-year-old boy that was murdered by his stepmother. The only reason why I bring up that case is because that is pretty much similar to this one. It's got one thing in common. One, they have a suspect, they have timelines, and they have pretty much, the last person near the murder victim. And yet, they both walk free from the crime. And it was this crime that this man walked away from. He did eventually get caught, but even more or less, he still was able to get out and do another incident on parole, mind you. So take it as it is and take what you want out of the story, but sometimes, the justice system is just, and this obviously would have been a great Me Too movement thing back in the day. No one listening to the victims. There was quite a few women raped by this man, let alone known if murdered. And yet, he only got convicted for one crime, which sentenced him to 15 to 25 years, but yet still got parole and then did something else again. And, mind-blowing. All because the guy testified and said, it was consensual. Yeah, sure. Tell that to the scarred woman that you took advantage of. But there's a couple things in here that will blow your mind and will leave you thinking, well, what the F happened with the investigation? This is the actual picture of the site where the tearful site, yes, can use my name for lots of things. But the tearful site where the girl was found. Take these off. And we're talking about Phyllis and Morrissette. 17 years old, mind you, lived in the Blackstone area of Worcester. Which that's, if anybody knows Worcester, would be over by the Walmart Blackstone shopping area. Discovered face down 3 feet off the shore of Geese Pond, which now shocked me that it's a park. And for some reason, you could say yes, when I drive by that place sometimes, for some reason, man, I look at it. Get that feeling. I was about to wonder why. My wife said one day, you know this town so well because I'm maneuvering myself around while doing, DoorDash I do sometimes. And I I don't know. I said I feel friggin' like I belong here for some reason, but it's like I could take that town in for some reason. Never lived there, but always just had that feeling. Like, I don't know, never lived there, but it was like I could maneuver my way around, and it doesn't matter where I'm at, I can figure out how to get to here to there, everywhere, and it's like, but when I drive through that town, I get an enormous feeling just like I did when I was out in Corning, New York. And now I can see why. Especially the Native Americans that lived around that area too. I believe that's another reason why I feel so connected to that town. But, insane. So, this is her at the time, 1967. She had been strangled, I believe, with her own nylon stocking. Now, mind you, one of the things that is nuts about this case, too, that just blows your mind away, this was like April, I believe. Yeah, April. So, just give me a moment. December, January, 4 months prior to this. Didn't even realize it until it came up on the, every Tuesday they come out with. They're going to be late because of the holidays. So you won't get another video from this Unsolved Whistle till January 3rd. But the case I did before this one, the girl that was located at Gates Street, same place where Patricia Gagne got off the bus. This woman was standing in the same place and literally got picked up there by either someone she knew. I covered it all in one of the last videos I did. And, you know, this happened 4 months after that case. Another one, 1967, since she was strangled. Remember, I was talking about the body found under the cardboard. Old lady found it. And it seems to me that, you know, whether or not this guy did it, seems to me if it was this guy who did this crime, who knows how many more, but he's documented for at least 4 women. This one he got acquitted. Because, I'll get into that in a minute, but he got acquitted for this case. Probably, I think it was lack of evidence or something, as usual. But, wait until I tell you what happened with that man and why they arrested him. Why they arrested him was because of the other charges of rape. But for them to lead up to that and to get that on him, he was also, here's the park, this is the old geese pond. I guess they filled it in and made this field. So this guy was sent to Bridgewater. His name is John G. Farrell. Lived on 238 Grafton Street. Mind you, the building has been torn down and it's the new Walgreens over there on Grafton Street, just before you start going up the hill. Like I said, anybody knows that area. And they put him in a mental institution. Because, right, they was going to try and get him for this case for the simple reason of why. Well, we'll get to that. Always got to leave you in suspense. But it's tough to see this. It's very tough. Because what I'm going to bring you up to next, it's just mind-blowing. You just lost for words. And like I say, the guy was acquitted for this. Just like the poor 7-year-old stepmother walks and lives. Now, if he didn't get caught for them other cases, or if he didn't do stupid on his parole, he would have been out. But luckily, he did do something during his parole and got sent back and did his time in jail. But to me, to let that SOB walk out of that prison, with the other 3 women that he raped, which he claimed, one was consensual, but I didn't do the other ones type thing, and then one he did get convicted for. What really gets me on this case is that Phyllis was raped, and here's the messed up part of the investigation. Why was there no semen taken? There had to have been semen. There had to have been something left over from the rape. And in this article, it does not say nothing about finding any, in any of the cases at that. If women were raped, there should have been something left, seeming on the clothes, unless he just, I don't know, pulled out and threw it all over the ground. I don't think there was any type of wearing a condom. These things are what shoot through my mind because they are not in the article. Nothing is said about how, besides witnesses saw the guy or whatnot, talking to some of these women. And there's another thing out there that this guy, one of the victims claimed that there was 2 men in the car that forced her in. One of 2 men, he was one of them. And another thing that wasn't mentioned in this case throughout this whole thing is the other man being found, nor this John ratting him out just to say so save his ass. He made me do it, or he did it, or he didn't even mention no men. But there was one man accounted for, but never investigated, never found, never whatever. Whatever the case may be. Unless the girl, I don't even want to say this, but unless she got it mixed up with another man, and that's how he got, acquitted off of one of them rape charges, because she had the wrong man, because it was 2 men and he was only one type thing, right? But, yeah, this other man in the semen, 2 important things out of all these rapes was never mentioned, probably, who knows, never probably checked or taken from the friggin' crime scene. Now, I could say Phyllis was laying down in a body of water. Who knows if it may be washed away or something, but still, there had to be something there. And it was never mentioned nor searched. And that really bothers me, especially this second guy who claims to be with John Farrell. But what leads up to this whole thing, this is a Madison Place Plaza, formerly Seven Hills Plaza Bus Terminal. Now what led this whole case, this whole murder, to this situation? Phyllis was not only 17, still in high school, she had a fiance. Guess she was going to get married. That's the thing with girls back in my days. Back in the olden days. Some women did want to start a good life, be a wife, start that family. And just, live with one person. And I believe this girl, as they claim, yes, they said she was very smart, very superficient with herself, very independent, and, was going to carry on with this boyfriend, but he had to be shipped off to Vietnam at the time. Vietnam, sorry if I say that wrong. I always got to remember that. I still don't figure out which way to say it, Nam and Nam. But this guy had to be driven into Boston. So they had a buddy, I guess from Danvers, come into Worcester, drove both to Boston, that they were 3 minutes late for the flight. So Phyllis's fiance wanted to go to Danvers because it was closer to the airport, because I guess he was going to get another flight. But for some reason it said in there, and I don't know why, but he might have missed another flight because he was supposed to come back on Sunday or something. I don't know how that worked. That's another thing in this case that sounded a little bit funny to me, a little bit fishy. That these two were in Danvers, missed the flight, went to Danvers. They were going to come and help search for Phyllis, but the car broke down and they had to walk back to the guy's house to Danvers. They were on their way. And he was supposed to come back Sunday or something, or who knows how that all played out, but that did kind of sound a bit funny to me. But I didn't, go into much of thinking anything about it because of what happened next. Because all this happened just before they said the real reason. And then they did good with this story to unveil everything within, a stage, so it keeps you in suspense just like me. But, yeah, what happened next and what would lead me to believe that them two, could have been a fishy thing going on there, because it maybe came back suspiciously and did something, because who knows, what sick people would think back then. But it leads me to go on what I forgot to say. So when she got to the airport and then she was going to head back home, she was to take a bus. Before I go any further, that bus was to stop off at Milford or something, next town over, or Oxford, and then from there she had to take a bus into this place. So that bus ran a little late out there, I guess. The transfer, by the time she got here to this station, her bus had already left, and that was the last bus for the night. So now the twist of everything in this whole tale. This man right here, this is the one I've been speaking of. His ugly puss, and I don't want to even look at it long. This is where he says that, we had consent sex. There's another part. I think one of these also goes on to say how many women. I want to read off first, keep you in suspense. So there was a Worcester Airport rape in 19-year-old, a woman in Rutland, and I could have sworn there was another one, Superior Court. Then there was a third one, I believe. Victim alleged rape, 22. I thought there was two more. You left the Trailway bus terminal a few minutes before earlier with. So we got this bus terminal. You see that bus? I thought there was a couple other ones. Oh, yeah, here it is. 26-year-old Worcester woman. No, there was at least three. I thought there was a fourth one, but how many more this guy did that did not come forth or did not make it, or just, got too scared and just ran and hide. But that man was a truck driver and a bus driver. Go figure. Now, whether or not he worked for this bus company is beyond me. In this video, it kind of did not detail if he worked there, but he spent a lot of time there talking to other employees or to the employees. I got a funny notion he did work there, but it just didn't sound like it made him work there. But if he did, he did. If he didn't, he didn't. But you can understand why this guy had so much access to women. Especially when he's hanging around a bus terminal where he don't even friggin' belong, or he just had that sick notion that he's got to be sitting there talking to everybody. But a stalker, a creep, a rapist, as you will call him, that explains exactly and highly why he would spend his time. Because you probably got lots of people, women coming in and out of this place, probably to visit, coming for work. Other towns. Back then, the bus was a huge transportation thing, just like the train, right? Still to this day, it still exists, but it was more stronger back then. A lot of people didn't own too many vehicles. So, but now we got the game changer of why this man was considered a huge suspect and why he was not convicted for it is beyond me. Because just because he said these words, what we'll get to, just remember that, that line, what he says, and obviously they believed it. Law enforcement believed it, so that gives them a smack upside the head. It's like, what the fuck is wrong with you? You didn't believe this? We had consensual sex. What he says next to this about this girl, it's like this guy can manipulate his way out of shit because he just looks so dumb and stupid. Oh, they're not gonna not believe me. So what had happened when she got to the terminal, the bus she had to go home was gone. She missed it just like her fiance missed the plane. This guy came up and started talking to her. Witnesses said that he went to the phone booth that she was calling to see if she could probably get a ride. Offered her a ride home. But wait, that ain't what really happened, supposedly. So they said this guy and her, the girl, Phyllis, walked away and she was never seen again. Now, when the cops get this guy, he says, I gave her directions. And that was it. Then I went off to a bus and took it home. And there was a bar, I believe that building I spoke of that he lived in was like a storefront, or I think it might have been even a bar, or somewhere near his home there was a bar. Don't quote me on that, but somewhere in the vicinity, whether it was near his house or underneath his house, there was a bar. He said that he was there in the evening, about 6. And then he said after he talked to Phyllis, he went back to that bar before he went home, and the bartender said didn't see him there. Bus driver said that he took the bus home. He didn't see him on the bus. So, where was this piece of crap? And then the bus terminal, I haven't checked yet, but I did look and locate Grafton Street and how far it is from this new park, which is Plantation Street. No, Providence Street, excuse me. And it's a distance. It's a good probably 20, 30-minute walk. Luckily, maybe walking-wise, I would say. So I could just imagine if this guy had a hidden vehicle. And he must have. But there's another thing there. I don't even think it said that he had a vehicle, but how would he get the body there if he didn't have something? Probably, and he lived with his mother. So there's another man, grown man, living with his mother. And his mother, by the way, yeah, that's right, sticks up for him and lies for him because they found some type of clothing. I forget what it was. And someone said it was Phyllis's clothing, but the mother said, no, that was my daughter's. So this guy had a sister. And the mother confirmed it was her daughter's, not Phyllis. And it was in the trash, mind you, in front of his house, along with jewelry, makeup kit, things that were found, obviously, in a pocketbook that was probably stolen from Phyllis. Someone said there was rosary beads with a cross found. Someone claimed it as Phyllis's, but no. Oh, that's what it was, the rosary bleeds. Yeah, we know the Sammy Davis Jr., Dean Martin. We'll take them rosary bleeds and stuff them up your nose. In all seriousness, no. In all seriousness, yeah, it was rosary beads. I thought it was... No, there was clothing, too. Sorry, there was a piece of clothing. But the rosary bleeds was nothing to... Bleeds. Were the other item, and they were burnt. For some reason, they were trying to be caught on fire. And that was found in the trash at this guy's house. Someone said they were Phyllis's, but the mother said, no, them are my daughters, along with the other stuff. So her daughter was throwing stuff out, but who in, God's name, why on earth under God's name would someone want to go and burn the sacredness of rosary beads is beyond me, especially a sick SOB like that. So here we have all this stuff, evidence, witnesses, and this guy never got charged for this murder because there was something on lack of evidence or some crap. I don't know. You can watch the whole episode on Unsolved Worcester YouTube, but in me, that's not satisfying enough. And for the police department to just say, hey, all right, we'll go by their word. They were her daughters. He led her in a direction. He never left with her. I mean, all right. But yet he gets charged for one rape. Then again, he gets out on parole, which should have never happened. But at least he screwed up because he supposedly got a girlfriend coming out from parole, and he did something to that girl. And there you go, he went back and violated his parole. But it's pretty sad and bad that this guy had to do that just to get his sentence ran out. And it's pretty bad that he could have gotten away with... He probably got away with so much other stuff that is unknown. But the DNA of the semen or whatever was taken up at that crime scene with that body of Phyllis... That's disturbing to me. Where's this other man that supposedly one girl said that was in a vehicle? And why would a woman lie? If there's two men and you're traumatized that bad by a rape, you're not going to friggin' make this crap up. I mean, it's probably happened, but I don't know. Why wasn't lie detector tests taken? This was around available at that time, I believe. 67. Unless it was in the making, I don't know. I haven't even looked up to see how long lie detectors have been, but I'm for damn sure that this would have had a great hammer blow to the case. But that was never done. If it didn't exist, it didn't exist, but they should have at least taken samples of rape kit stuff like they call them today, and took some semen or anything. They had, her body being found in the water, partial. I don't think nothing could have got washed away at that time. So I don't know. It's just tough to eat these bullets, the steel, and try to chew it to get a nice good aftertaste and get a nice good filling out of it, because you know what? It's all just crap to me. I can't stand when cases get badly taken over like this. A lot of things and questions and answers that I would be asking. But once again, I will try to go to that field, I'll tell you, and see if I can get a spirit reading. And it would be pretty awesome to try and do that, because if that woman was placed there, and it was a pond at the time, a little swampy pond, where a lot of trash was dumped there too. It's about a wonder why they probably cleaned it out and, filled it in, because it was being used as a dump spot. But just imagine how many more bodies were dumped there throughout time before it was demolished. So it'll be very interesting to check that place out and ghost hunt. I'm going to set my 4K camera up. Maybe we can take a talk to Phyllis and see. That's it on this case. Very mind-blowing. Yep. And just to think that man got to die in the beginning of this year, they said, 2022. Man lived out his life, whether it was in jail, he was getting everything for free, huh? Free meals, free all paid for that piece of crap. But gratefully he's dead now. Hopefully they kept DNA from the guy, I hope. I strongly hope. Hope they didn't delete any of that or got rid of it before he passed. Because I don't know, man. But then again, if there was no samples of semen taken back in the day, or let alone any type of DNA taken, this case will never be solved. But he is a perfect suspect, and that, whether it could have been his first murder, maybe second, or just, he was just that good. That, if someone was going to talk, he'd kill him. If someone won't talk, just rape him. But he could have been just trying something out new at the time, so piece of crap. So that's it, folks. That is it. Hope you enjoyed that. Can't wait to see what the next one's about. But poor woman there had a good life waiting for her to start. And, of course, I say it every time I end my videos. Be safe, take care, and always beware. Especially when I do these kind of videos, because you don't know when that piece of crap gonna just step up behind you and just take your freaking life. You'll never know. And it's insane to think that it still goes on to this day. Yeah. Hopefully one day all you people that like to do this kind of stuff meet your demise and meet your boogeyman. Yes, the new boogeyman. Yeah, hope you meet him. It's gonna be your new taker. Not your maker, your taker. Yeah, pieces of shit. Anybody that does this kind of crime, raping, killing innocent, defenseless people, you're just the biggest puss on the planet. You need to go to fairyland. That's right. Float around with the fairies with your little wingies, trying to stick your wand out and flash it all around. But yet you'll just get swatted like a fly because you're a freaking puss. Have a nice day, all you little wussies. To that next video, everybody, true fans and all, thank you very much for showing up. Highly appreciated. Always highly appreciated here, because without the fans, there is no bands. Just give or take. I always use that metaphor because it's the same thing, just like the rockers out there that give you your desired measurement of awesome music. Without that, be safe. Out.